Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Tuesday evening. We have a World Series game on. Last night's World Series game was absolutely bonkers. It got over at 2:50 a.m. on the East Coast. It was absolutely insane. 18 innings. I dozed off and then I woke up and I thought the game was on replay. And I was like, does that say like the 15th inning? And yeah, it was the 15th inning. That's for sure. And then I kind of dozed off as he hit a home run and just saw them celebrating. And like I said, I was like, holy cow, it is super late right here. And it was a wild game last night, another one on tonight. So I'll keep you guys posted about that. But of course, we're going to go through the market, see what's going on with that and what's going to be popping. And how about Microsoft right there? That was a beauty, huh, Mr. Bull? Yeah, it was. Mr. Bull loves Microsoft today. He was like, hey, can I come on the show and actually say hello? Because Microsoft did exactly what we said it was going to do, didn't it, Mr. Bull? It sure did, didn't it? Yeah. So, Mr. Bull, thanks for hanging out this evening and talking about Microsoft right there, because that was a beauty. And let's get into it all. Information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And that's what the heat map looked like. And I'm not going to lie, I would be a little cautious tomorrow. It did pop up today. We had Microsoft. I mean, that was a beauty right there. I have been saying that they had something going big happening here. If I typed it in right, MSFT. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. I do think I need a new keyboard. I can't feel like the things on there, so I have no idea where my fingers are. But Robin said those calls were a nice thing this morning. I agree with you, Robin. They were a beauty this morning. How about that? Waking up and then right before the open. I mean, I wish you could get rid of them at 9 a.m. That thing was up like $25 or something crazy in the open, and then it just obviously everybody was setting their sell button and hitting them as soon as the market opened. It was like da-ding, 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 and it did pull back, but it kind of stayed a little stable there, pulled back a little bit, and obviously went up towards the end of the day right there. So we'll see. I honestly think, looking at the daily chart right here, it does look like it wants to pop up a little bit higher right there with earnings coming up. I do think tomorrow is a little bit of a wild day. So I wasn't holding on to them like you, Robin. I was getting out, locking in my profits because it was a good day with them Microsoft options. I also had the MSFU calls and a couple calls on each. So it was good. And, I've been saying that it was setting up. I mean, there wasn't anything else I could say for that. So, yeah, it was a beauty. And like I said, I do think it might go up, but I think it's kind of a coin flip. And I wasn't playing it. So I did get out of just about everything. I did keep, and I meant to get out of this one, T-Doc. So I do still have this one. It was down a little bit. I only had a couple options, so it's only down a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, but it is down, and I think they have earnings tomorrow. And I was gonna, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow, obviously. So we might as well ride it into it because see if it wants to flip back around. But I did forget to sell that, and I do have TONX as well. But this thing was looking really good. I didn't see that it pulled back there. It must have happened back in the later on in the after hours. Let's take a look and see where that is. And yeah, it pulled back right there, it looks like. So it did come down a little bit. I can't even tell where the heck it is, to be completely honest. Where is that thing? I don't even see where. Oh, it's down here at 407. That's why. Yeah, it definitely pulled back then because it was up there at 416. And a good thing they make it purple because I couldn't even tell where it's at. So maybe they're not. I mean, that thing looks so good going into the after hours too. So we'll have to see how that opens up. But it was looking really good right there. And it looks like it pulled back some. So there you go with that one. And let's see, ASST, frustrating, as Mike Alford says. Don't fret over daily setbacks. Yeah, exactly right there. And I probably just should have sold this one yesterday before it closed, and I obviously got out of it today. It honestly looks like it has a little healthy pullback is what it kind of looks like, but that chart's a little bit crazy, and I'm not messing with it at this point. I mean, it already ran up, and we were talking about it back here, so you had plenty of opportunity to get into it at any point. But yeah, it just looks a little weird to me. So it did have a little bit of a run up today, right about there, and I was like, all right, let me just get out of this thing. It's not doing what I want it to do, so I'll exit out of that bad boy. So yeah, I figured I was just going to play it, to get out of everything and make sure I have some cash on hand in case that market wants to pull back. And even if it doesn't, I can still position myself perfectly fine. But that TerraWolf was running up today, and that was a pretty good one. This morning ran up right there and stayed up for the most part. So there's some good ones right there for you. And that VC after hours, I did not, Janica. What did it do? It wasn't it dipping? Hold on. Yeah, it was coming down pretty hard. And then it ran up again. Holy cow, look at that thing, Janica. Wow, I did not see that. Oh man, Ben's gonna be so upset because I think he had sold there. I don't even know exactly where. I forget what price he got in, but that thing is running up there and not looking bad in the after hours, Janica. I did not see that. What time did that start popping up there? It said right before 6 o'clock. So 5:50. Wow, look at that. We were talking about it today. VC, and it did run up, and it spiked up there over $1.80 because it was way down there. It would pull back, and yeah, that's an interesting one. I did not see that happen, so thank you for that. And let's cruise right through. And you saw that laptop travel VC? Yeah, we were looking at it today, and didn't see it at 6 o'clock. I guess I gotta just watch the market until like 8 p.m. It's like kind of crazy. All kinds of crazy things happen, but I don't really swing trade as many. I don't mind swing trading a couple of them here and there, but I don't get as crazy. Ben gets in and out of a lot of them. I just enjoy being on there. It keeps my brain in it, and I can tell exactly what's going on all day, every day. And then I just help you guys out. And again, it's kind of easier for me to sit there and tell you guys what to do as opposed to me trying to trade them as well. I'm telling you, I'm good at the setups like Microsoft. We see these things a little bit earlier sometimes, and it's perfectly fine because the last one we smashed out of the park was AMD. And I think I'm just going to really kind of focus on that. I was talking about, remember this one right here? Look at that, up over 8% today. Good old UPS. So I think if we just focus on some of the setups that I have at 6 o'clock, it just started to get cruising right there. And it did. I mean, even if you sold it at the open, you were perfectly fine. It was still a big pop. It's, even Microsoft popped up huge at 9 a.m. And that had that big news. And we'll talk about that real quick. And then we'll go through our list. Microsoft surge. I got to read this. I can't even read what it says. Their shares surged over 4%, market cap tops 4 trillion as companies secured a 27% stake in OpenAI's for-profit entity valued at $135 billion and gains 250 billion in Azure contracts. I'm not sure what that is. Extends AI model access through 2032 and prepares to report for their Q1 earnings. So, and then after the close tomorrow, amid OpenAI's restructuring and potential public listing right there. So, how crazy is that, guys? And remember, I told you that we're going to have big news come out. I would say that's pretty big news. That's some of the biggest news you could see right there. I mean, we've seen all the companies joining forces and everything else. But I mean, that's wild for Microsoft to take a 27% stake in OpenAI. That's huge, guys. That's really big right there. And again, now you can see that the charts just tell you what's going to happen ahead of time. We already knew that there was big news coming out. I don't know what it is, and necessarily I don't really care. But now you guys can see the charts tell you everything, and I think you guys definitely know that. But anyway, let's get cruising through our show and see what's going on here and what's happening. So here we go. Let's get rocking and rolling. I was just going to see what's up with our game. It should be starting right about now, I think, or it did just start, whatever. I think it already started, possibly. No, I think it's starting right about now. So there you go. I'll keep you guys updated on the Blue Jays and Dodgers. And again, I was talking about it at the very beginning of the show. If you didn't watch last night's game, holy cow, 18 innings, guys. They played 2 games, and that was crazy. It got over. So they were in LA, and it got over at 11:50 p.m. And on the East Coast, it was 2:50 a.m. It was right before 3 o'clock in the morning. The game got over. It was super, super late, and I passed out, like I said, and I like woke up, and I thought the replay of the game was on, and here they were in the 15th inning. It was that crazy. So anyway, they're starting their game here, and we'll get cruising through and see what the market looks like. I'll keep you guys updated. And here we go. So Neon wasn't looking too bad today, and we just been keeping it on the list. It's just been in the basement right here, making these bases. So we're just watching it to see if it wants to curl up and get cruising at any point. Nothing real crazy, but it's a good one, I guess, just to keep on there. And Neon or KVUE, that Tylenol maker thought was looking pretty good, and that's pulling back towards its earnings. And I'm telling you, a lot of these were starting to pull back. I'm not saying they can't turn around. I do think that the Fed rate cut obviously is already factored in. I mean, we kind of already knew for a while that we were getting 0.25 rate cut tomorrow, and it's at 98% up there, and it's definitely not jumping off a cliff tomorrow. December 10th was starting to move today, you can see. But again, I still don't even think that says no change, and maybe because of Powell's going to speak tomorrow, but I still don't think of that. And here was our January one, and our no change was curling down, and our 0.25 decrease was curling up right there. So that is what it looks like in January. So again, I think you're going to see rate cuts straight across the board right here is what we should see anyway. And the Fed already knows they're pretty screwed. So with this government shutdown, and that doesn't look like it's shutting opening, although the chart, you see it curl back up right there. It was curled down, and that's how fast, and then that thing crawled right back down. So yeah, it's not opening anytime soon. It says what, November 22nd, November 23rd. So yeah, the government's staying shut down for a little while. It might be into Thanksgiving, guys. So it's pretty crazy for that one. But anyway, let's get through our list and see what's going on here. And back in the green with your Disney puts. And there you go. It is pulling back there. And I do think that the market's going to be pulling back, open door, pulling back a little, hitting that resistance. I told you guys it wasn't exactly set up. QMCO right here. This one actually is starting to look pretty decent to get set up. So I do think we're going to see a little bit of dip, and then we're going to see a nice rip happen. So just be watching tomorrow. And again, I'm being cautious going into tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see a big like downfall or anything, but maybe we do see a nice little dip action, and be prepared for it because it can be a great opportunity. You guys know that anytime the market dips right now, it rips right back up. And UNH right here, let's see what that's up to. Let me see what UNH, because it was up a little bit today. They did have their earnings, and I don't know, it looks all green, so I guess they beat everything. I'm not exactly sure. And it does look good, but another one, I'm just not so sure it's ready to run up. So you might have a little bit of pullback right there. You have the 200 over top of it. So we'll be keeping an eye on that UNH to see if it wants to get running. And how about Oscar right here, just kind of getting set up. So they do look good. They're just trying to get set up. And let's look at that QMCO and the rest of these quantum ones. I meant to go through them. And yeah, that one is, it does look like it's going to pull back and jump around, but they do look pretty good. RGTI right here, a nice little pullback as well. And QUBT also pulling back today. And what about QBTS? That was pulling back, that D wave. So I didn't think that they were exactly ready yet. And you guys know I was saying, and that's why, because they had that kind of pullback look. Even as Quantum Defiance, it was kind of pulling up, but I don't think it's getting up into that top just yet. It's still got to cross through that MACD, and I don't think it's ready for that. So IONQ right here was also pulling back. So that looks like it could pull back a little more as it's trying to test that 50 again. Last time it bounced off, but this time it looks like it wants to pull back a little bit more going into the earnings next week. So I believe that'll be next week, November 5th. It should be. Yeah, it has to be. And anyway, that's what your quantum ones look like. And Z Space right here. Look at this thing. I swear this thing's mind-boggling. I'm not gonna lie. Just watching this thing, it almost looks like it wants to roll off, but you just never know. It almost looks like it wanted to bottom out, but it looked like that 100 times already, and you just can't get a good idea. So as much as I think I look at this thing because it drives me crazy because I just can't figure out what it's gonna do. And every time it looks like it wants to set up or something, it has a quick spike up like that, then pulls back, and you can't even tell. So I'll continue to look at it, and it'll probably just pop one day because somebody will buy them out or something crazy. What's it say? I didn't even know they had news. Z Space expands health science portfolio with immersive applications for anatomy and ECG training. I don't even know what they're talking about. So anyway, I could have just read it up here. I think it says up there AR, VR applications and something. Body Viz and virtual ECG. Does anybody know what the heck that is even talking about? I have no idea what they're talking about, but there you go with Z Space. And here we go. We'll keep on cruising along right here and see what's happening with the rest of our list, like ABTC. And it did have a little bit of pullback. And again, we're waiting for these. They did look like they were trying to get ready, and they don't look too bad right here. And I think you did say crypto, it is down a little bit, 112 pulling back. And again, I thought it was some healthy pullback happening here. And that 20's down here, like 111 area. So we'll see how far they really want to pull back. I think they're testing all the way, and they're going to try to bounce off. You can see Ethereum right there. So I'd expect them to try to bounce back up a little bit and kind of stair step themselves up and not just take off immediately. That's what it looks like. But again, we have our rate cut tomorrow, all kinds of craziness, earnings happening, big time earnings coming up, and all kinds of craziness going on in the market. So look at Doge. That looks like it could pull back, but it also is over the MACD. So gives you a mixed look. And I would assume that they're just kind of stair stepping their way up is what they look like to me. And they all have that similar look right there. So we don't have to go through and get through every single one of them because they all look kind of the same. But yeah, even optimism right there looks like it could just jump up onto that 20 and get cruising. So that is what our crypto, Bitcoin, and all them look like. So we just do them, and let's keep on looking. ECG is electrocardiogram. Is that what they were talking about? I don't even remember what stock it was, but whatever it was, I forget what I even said, but there you go. And the last 2 days have been a bit spooked for in the markets for laptop travel. It doesn't feel like we are on solid ground. Yeah, I think we're going to see a quick pullback right here. You can see your UVXY was up today and looking good. Remember, we looked at it yesterday, and I was saying, they look a little bit too good at the moment. The VIX was up earlier. I don't know if it actually pulled back, but let's see what it's doing right here. And it could easily start curling up. And again, doesn't have to get through. It just has that curl up, and it'll run up, and then it'll hit the MACD, bounce back, and then it'll have one big pop at some point right there after the new year or something. But yeah, they are getting really set up. Just watch for that little pullback dip some point. A good opportunity to enter these things because it looks like it could be coming up. And again, Powell speaking tomorrow. The Fed rate's getting cut by 0.25, and it's going to be pretty crazy right there on a Wednesday. So here we go. What time does Powell even speak? I don't even know what time he speaks. I don't even see it here. I would think that it says the Fed Powell or whatever. Oh, here you go. Fed interest rate decision, 2 p.m. So we got to wait for 2 p.m. right there, guys. And that's the Fed interest rate decision. So tomorrow could be a weird day, that's for sure. And that's why I didn't trust Microsoft going in overnight. And I said, you know what? I'll just take these profits right here. It can run up as much as it wants, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I'll take all this and go on my merry way and put it towards the next one. So anyway, that's what happened with Microsoft, and I hope everybody else had a good day with that because we were super early to the party on Microsoft, and everybody knows I was saying they had something big going on, and obviously they had something big going on, I would say. And anyway, the game's on Blue Jays and Dodgers, and there's 2 outs in the top of the first, 0-0. Nobody scored. And if you guys were up last night, whole week out, that was a crazy game. Doge Mama 9, I think you stayed up for the whole game, didn't you? And that was a late one, but at least it was only like midnight out there. And like I said, it was 10 minutes to 3 a.m. And on the East Coast, it was super late when that game got over. I was like, holy cow, I'd passed out in the middle of it, woke up. Literally, I thought the replay was on, and the game was still on. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I have to watch this thing now. And so, yeah, I was definitely up, and it threw me off a little bit, but it's all good because Microsoft snapped that right back into me as soon as that was popping up this morning, looking good with that big news. So anyway, let's cruise through our list and see what's going on. We were looking at the ABTC, a little bit of pullback there, and then we went through our crypto, and Pew right here is kind of hopping around, and we'll see. It doesn't look too bad. Oh, as it's trying to curl up right there. It's in the channel, so it'll probably bounce around in that channel right there. And NCPL, Net Capital, pulling back as well. But PSQH not looking bad. I know it was pulling back, but look at it on that trend line with your 20 right there. So this one could get set up. Keep an eye on PSQH. And I'll tell you what, you know that something's going to happen when there's not a whole lot of them setting up, and you can just go through and pick out anything, because it's definitely tough right now. There wasn't a whole lot setting up. I'm not going to lie. That OCGN could be pulling back towards its earnings right there. So just be careful of that one. I know it was in a bullish channel, but it is pulling back at the moment. And we'll keep an eye on OCGN, see how far it wants to pull back. And then BMNR was looking really good. Not that it looks bad, but now you got to pull them back down here. And it did cross over, and it got into a spot where it should pop, but crypto isn't looking the best. You can see it wanted to get moving, but now it's going to have to bounce off and get set back up unless everything gets turned back around and Powell comes out and says some amazing things about the markets, which he doesn't like to do. And yeah, we know we have a rate cut. And again, I think that it's kind of already priced in. I would say everybody already knows that it's coming. And so we'll see what happens. I don't know what the heck he's going to say tomorrow. I have no idea. But anyway, let's keep on cruising. That's SBET, a little bit of pullback, and UPXI had a little bit of pullback right here. So we just have to wait for crypto to get really cruising. It keeps getting set up and then coming back down. That ORBS also pulling back. And that BBWI right there trying to bounce back after it had a nice pullback yesterday and on that 20. So it's staying in that channel. Keep an eye on that one to trade around. That's a pretty good one right now during the holiday season. And Chipotle came down some more. I was actually surprised. They have their earnings tomorrow. This one had appeared to be set up right there and then did pull back. So Chipotle pulling back towards its earnings. I probably wouldn't mess with it now, but we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow, see if it wants to get turned back around. And this EPWK is a penny stock we've been looking at and still in the basement, still trying to crawl up. Nothing real crazy going on right there either. So that is your EPWK. Look at that thing, not looking too crazy. And so, yeah, they're all just kind of flattened out, not looking like they want to do much at the moment, but that doesn't mean they can't change in a snap of a finger. LBGJ right here, just in this channel, and this one was getting set up looking pretty good and is just kind of hanging out right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. And YDKG right here, this one actually was looking pretty good, and I think it pulled back a little bit in the after hours. A little bit, nothing real crazy. I did see it popping up right here a little bit, and then it kind of got up there, but nothing crazy there and pulled back. But yeah, that chart's a little wild. And but obviously, look at it, had a huge dip right there. We're looking as it curls up. It has a really nice curl up look. So definitely keep an eye on that YDKG for tomorrow. And NIXX, remember, Stock Authority was looking at this and said, check it out as it gets down here. It may get a nice bounce play off of that support line. So that's what we're looking at right there. So definitely keep that on your list. NIXX, I've been checking that out. Almost has that doji candle right there, like it wants to get cruising and trying to curl around. So I'm going to keep that on the list and keep an eye on it. Then this LITM kind of run up a little bit today. It did in the after hours. I know it was like moving a little bit. Let's take a better look at it. LITM right here. And it did spike up, but that one looks like it's trying to get set up as well. And Stock Authority was looking at this one too. So that one is going to get set up. I think it has a little bit of time, not much there. We'll keep an eye on this and time it down for Snow Lake Resources. So we'll be watching that one, LITM. And good old Sinestech, a little more pullback here. So we'll be keeping an eye on this as the market's pulling back. You can see they didn't have any news yet, so it's bouncing down. And we'll see how far it wants to come down there. And that's what I'm watching for, because that's going to be a great opportunity. We already know that likes to run. AEO right here was spiking up a little bit in the morning. I know that. And then it did pull back. So there you go. It did have that spike up, open at 16.8. 1685, and its high was 1719 right there. So American Eagle Outfitters, we've been talking about that. You might see a little healthy pullback on AEO right there. This one's looking really good. Home Depot, I know it was pulling back a little bit, but it does look good to get set up right there. So let's just watch for any pullback. Like I said, 385.28. Where's it at? 385.14. So it's somewhere in that range, but it has some good support. Line 20 right there. Earnings coming up. It's over the MACD, and it does look good for HD. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that. And Lowe's right here, very similar and looks pretty good. So both of them, I think that they are getting set up, and we have to keep an eye on them because they could get cruising. And they look kind of as the better ones right now, honestly, going into tomorrow. So we'll be watching them. The IVF was pulling back a little bit more. We're hoping that this thing can get bottomed out right here and start curling up for some people. So we'll be keeping an eye on that IVF. I'll keep it on the old list right here and see if it wants to get moving. If it does look good, I'll jump back in. We can recoup our losses on good old IVF right there. So I'll keep that on the list. And let's see what's going on in this game right here. Something's going on, but it's not refreshed. It's the bottom of the first with one out, and it's still 0-0. So there you are with that. And let's keep on cruising. We'll rock and roll right through our list real quick, and then we'll hop off, and you guys can enjoy the World Series game. Hopefully it's not as long as last night's game. Like I said, if you guys watch that entire game, all 18 innings, holy cow, you must be exhausted today. Like I said, I had to fall asleep a couple times in between, wake up, and the game was still on. So I can't tell you exactly how amazing it was because I didn't see the whole thing. But I'm assuming it was probably a pretty good game because it was still tied up into the 18th inning there. And that's pretty crazy. Has a game ever gone into the 18th inning? I don't think a World Series game, but I was trying to, I meant to look it up, but I totally forgot. And I was thinking about it earlier. Like, has a game ever gone into the 18th inning? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I'm not really that great with them all. With knowing these statistics and stuff like that, but definitely a wild game last night, especially for a World Series game. So anyway, that was that. And if you guys were watching it, I'm sure you enjoyed that. And I'm sure Doge Mama 9, she enjoyed it. She's probably exhausted. And now there's another game on. Can you imagine if tonight's game goes into extra innings? That'll be insane. But I can only imagine the players have to be extremely tired as well because that's a really long day to be playing and then to have to come back. They play tonight and tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure. So that's a crazy World Series. Now it kind of just made it a whole different World Series, I think, having an 18-inning game. That definitely changes the dynamics a little bit. But anyway, let's cruise through and see what our dynamics are on our stock charts. And ONDS was pulling back pretty good. And it did. I was saying to Ben, it started to move in the after hours right there. I was actually talking about this one, Ben and I. And if you're not in the Discord, we're on there all the time, live trading in the morning and in the afternoon. I think you guys kind of enjoy it, the Discord members. I know there's a lot of comments and everything, and I make sure we try to go through them and check out all the stock charts, and we go through everything. Ben always has a good agenda and some notes and stuff like that. And you guys know I just rock and roll right through and tell you what looks good and what doesn't. And then we go through the minute charts and I kind of tell you exactly what's cruising along. But ONDS, I was saying to him because he was like, you guys know I don't draw in lines, but this is why I love FinViz. I don't know what these lines are, guys, these blue lines that they draw in. I tried to figure it out before. I'm not even sure what the algorithm is. I think I told you guys before I tried to figure out. I have no idea what the heck they are, but they are incredible. And they've been putting these lines in ever since I started looking at FinViz. And again, I've been looking at FinViz the longest. It's been around, when did they say? I remember saying like 2018 or 2008 or something. I forget, 2007, whatever it is. But yeah, that's when I literally started looking at these FinViz back then. So that's why I'm really used to the stock. The charts anyway, and I can get a good idea. But they always had these trend lines always built in there. I never put them in, but they are amazing. Like they're the greatest trend lines ever, and I've never seen any other charts have them kind of trend lines ever. Like I tried to duplicate it and I couldn't even do it. I couldn't figure it out on TrendSpider. I can't figure it out anywhere. So I'm pretty sure that's their little secret right there. But it's a great little secret. Whatever these trend lines are that they have automatically come in, and they've been doing it forever, they are incredible. So I was saying to Ben, it's hitting this trend line, and he was like, well, it's he wasn't seeing it because of Fin. This is just on Finviz for whatever reason. You won't see them on any other charts, and yeah, Finviz they nail these bottoms and trend lines. So if you're, that's why I love Finviz. And again, I can see the setup, and then I go over here. And I can definitely check it out and be like, all right, it is pulling back from the 50, but knowing what the setup looks like with that trend line right there, yeah, it could easily get curled up there and start moving. So that's what I look at. And obviously, it's not a guarantee, but that's what you do. You take a little risk as you see things set up, and you just know that these patterns, they like to bounce off. And maybe it'll just bounce off for tomorrow morning. We'll check it out, ONDS, and see what's going on. But it looks like it's bouncing up right there, as says it anyway, 693. And yeah, so it was kind of, because it definitely closed there at 679. So it was cruising up a little bit right there. And we'll see if it does get that bounce. But just trying to explain to you what I look at and something that you guys can take a look at. And again, it's only on Finviz. And I pay, you don't even need the elite one, the paid service. They're always in here. So you can just look at a chart. It might not be up to the minute. I think it might have like a 15-minute delay if you don't pay for the elite, but that's not going to phase anything on your chart setup, obviously, especially if you're on your daily chart. You'll definitely have the same setup. So it'll be your minute ones will be a little different. And if anything moves, you might get a little bit of a delay, but you'll still see these trend lines and stuff, because I didn't always pay for Finviz. I do now. But obviously, I didn't always pay for it, and they always had these great trend lines. So anyway, just a little chart explanation and a little advice, and not even advice, just a little heads up about what Finviz offers as well. And again, I use both of them. TrendSpider, I hop over. So if you ever have questions about either of them, and TrendSpider, if you want that, just hit me up, because I always have specials and offers and stuff. So I can send you my affiliate link, and they'll take care of you. They're great over there. Their customer support, I've talked about it with Nader and stuff, and maybe I'll have Nader on. We were just talking about it. So I had a few questions for Nader. So I think we'll do a show real soon with Nader from TrendSpider. They usually seem to be really fun shows. And I do have a few questions, and they're always changing things over here as well. So just talking about the charting platforms real quick, but these are the ones that I always use, Finviz and TrendSpider. And yeah, TrendSpider is amazing. You can build your own stuff. And again, I just don't know where Finviz, they just put them trend lines in. But I do like the charts real basic like this, because then I can really see what's going on. And over here, I have scanners all set up. You guys know that. And I have them all organized and blah, blah, blah. So you guys know all about them things. And yeah, it's TrendSpider is great. So if you ever have questions about it, just hit me up, and you guys know I'll answer anything you want to know, or at least send you down the right path. And so yeah, they're the two things that I use: Finviz, TrendSpider. Both of them, I think, are just amazing chart platforms, and probably the best ones that I've ever seen. Again, I've been using Finviz forever, and TrendSpider just does things that no other platform can even come close to doing. They kind of do different things, so I don't even really kind of compare Finviz and TrendSpider. Obviously, I don't compare them, because I use the two of them and go back and forth off of them. So clearly it's not really a competition thing, really. I think that they're both, I need them both. Without both of them, I don't think I'm as in the zone and as good. So I can't get rid of Finviz or TrendSpider, let's put it that way. But anyway, just giving you a little look into the charts and what we look at, if you're new and just kind of tuning in, or if you just wanted to know. But let's keep cruising through. That's ONDS. And I was saying, it does look like it wants to bounce off of this little trend line. We'll see tomorrow. It could pull back a little bit, but again, it could just be a nice little bounce tomorrow morning and just be enough. So we'll take a look at ONDS in the morning. IMRX, we had that on the list today, and that was trying to cruise up a little bit. It wasn't looking too bad right there. As you can see, it was bouncing all over the place. It started out low. I had it on the night note. It did run up. Ben was talking about it too. We both had it on our list. and then it ran up. So IMRX right there. That wasn't a bad one as well. So yeah, I try to give you guys ones that are definitely going to be running. Obviously, it's not always 100%, but that's why I hop on every morning as well. And we do the pre-market show at 7 a.m. And then I hop on in the Discord around 9:15 ish, right before the market opens. They go through the best picks of the day, what they're going to play, and everything like that. And today was a beauty. I mean, Microsoft went nuts. They called out Galaxy first thing in the morning right here, GLXY, and that one ran really well, as you can see right there. Started up, came up to their exactly where Ben was saying the target was, so that was really good. And then CCCX, that one popped up this morning as well, ran up after like 12:30, but then it did pull back down there, but then kind of ran up some more. But yeah, that one also ran up pretty well too. And then of course Microsoft, I've been telling you guys about that one, and that was just a beauty right there today. So there you go. And that's what we do in the morning. And we were talking about a bunch of other ones as well. So if you want to be in the Discord and get into the live trading with us and you have any questions, again, just hit me up, shoot me a message on X, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything. You guys know that. And here we go. Let's just cruise right through, see what's going on here. I think the game is in between innings there, so I don't think is there any score? And the thing's taking forever to refresh. No, it's still 0-0. So let's cruise right here. And I know we were just looking at IMRX, so circle right here. This thing pulling back again, and maybe we'll get some more pullback down here. It's right on that 20. Maybe it wants to hit that 50 right there. Earnings coming up. It does look like this one wants to kind of get set up. So we'll have to keep an eye on circle right there, CRCL. And what about Uber right here? That one ran up with some crazy news and came down pretty fast. I know that. I forget what the news was, but it was right there around like 130, 140, 149, right around there. I don't know what time it was, 145 or something. And then it ran up and then bam, it came crashing down there. I forget what the heck the news was. Uber partners with NVIDIA, Stellantis, and Foxconn to develop and deploy 100,000 NVIDIA-powered Level 4 ready autonomous robo-taxis starting in 2027, unveiling pilot programs and fleet expansion plans today. So there you go. Now Uber's partner with NVIDIA and all these companies. Like I said, all these companies are all going to be interlinked together. And that's just the way it's going to end up working. So they'll all pop. I mean, they'll all just run around and be really good. It'll help all their earnings because they always have some kind of piece of the puzzle working out because they always have these big companies working with them. So it will all work out well. Lyft was setting up, but did pull back a little bit today. And let's watch that one get set up again, or even watch it tomorrow to see what it wants to do. And nuclear right here was running up early, and then it did pull back. I know it did pop up right there, and then it did pull back. So that one I was looking at this morning. I think I had mentioned it this morning, and it did run up. So that would have been good. GPUS I had on the night note, and that did run up this morning as well. So that was a pretty good one. As you can see, it was cruising along early, came down, ran back up, and then pulled back at the end of the day. So, yeah, we kind of look at all these guys and everything, and I try to pay attention to everything. And now I think in the next week I'll really start posting a lot more. I've been talking to Rhett changed everything around, so it's a little more organized too in the Discord. So we'll get posting everything and prices and everything as well. So try to make it better each week for you guys, especially in the Discord. And so yeah, we'll start doing that. But you can see if you look in there, Rhett did change around kind of the format of things so we can make it a little bit better. So we're trying to we're in discussion, making things, always changing things for the best. At least we're trying to anyway. But anyway, UPS right here, we were talking about this one as well, getting cruising. Were we not the other week and saying it was getting set up right around here? And today would have been a great day to had that option. And even FedEx wasn't too bad running up, and that still doesn't look bad. So we'll have to keep an eye on FedEx, but that was UPS, FedEx. Somebody had mentioned DSY right here, and that one doesn't look too bad. Look at it. It was trying to spike up a little bit, crawling through. A little flat right there for DSY, and it is that big tree cloud holdings hitting the 20. We'll have to look at it tomorrow, but it was looked like it was trying to curl up some more. So keep that on your list right there, guys, for tomorrow. And like I said, it's not a whole lot. What the heck? Oh, Lazy Boy. This one didn't look too bad. It does look like a Lazy Boy type of day tomorrow. So maybe Lazy Boy will be cruising right here. Look at this LZB. Good old Lazy Boy. And that is looking pretty decent. So keep an eye on that. There wasn't a whole lot, like I said, setting up. So it might be a Lazy Boy type of day. And this Bank of New York Mellon Corp right here, BK, didn't look too bad. Look at it curling up right there. So they just had their dividend, or they do have their dividend. Today it was, and they just had their earnings the other day on the 16th. So yeah, this one trying to set up right there. You can see if you want to look at that BK. So like I said, not a whole lot looking too great for tomorrow morning. And I'd be a little bit cautious, to be completely honest with you, if I were you. And again, I was selling off basically all of my stuff that I'd be trading just to make sure. And yeah, BK looking pretty good. BTGD right here, that Bitcoin gold coming back down to your trend line. And they do look like they could be coming down, guys. SOLT pulling back right there. The SOLZ looks exactly the same, and that's pulling back for the most part. HSDT, and that was pulling back some, and then your STKE. So we have to wait for crypto to really get set up for them guys, and it just seems like it gets set up and then does pull back. It's kind of crazy, and the markets is just like kind of stalling. JNUG trying to rebound here, but I still don't think that's exactly ready. So we'll check out gold in the morning. But yeah, J Nug, I think you're still going to have some bounce around. That's Nug. They look pretty similar, but I don't think that they're really ready just yet. So we'll keep an eye on them because they were trying to get green there. Tried to run up one day and then they came down another level. They could still level down a little bit. And silver right here, the same situation. So we'll have to wait. Maybe silver's waiting to come down to that trend line around 61. We'll look at it and see what it wants to do. I'm not running into it just yet, that's for sure. But when they get set up, they'll probably be pretty good. What is DZZ? That's a double gold short right there. And that one, I mean, it's still in the top. So yeah, I forgot to jot that one down there, Luis Rodriguez, or I didn't keep an eye on it. And let me keep an eye on that one, DZZ, especially in the morning right there, because this one could tell us when gold does want to get curling back up, let's say, because this is the short one, so it'll have to reverse itself. So yeah, we'll keep an eye. And I know like J Dust right here, I do look at these guys, and they are jumping up a little bit. Look at that setup right there. That's your junior. That's like your opposite of J Nug. That's your bear right there. And they are in that channel, so they do have a little bit of a setup period. Then they could run and pull back. So I just be careful of gold and silver at the moment. I don't know if they're exactly ready yet. And again, we were talking about TONX. I didn't realize it pulled back, but it was looking really good going into the after hours. So we'll see how that looks in the morning right there. And let's keep on cruising right through. And we'll look at our Jolie's jams. We'll look at our laptop travel list. And of course, we'll go through and see what you guys want to see. And we'll see what's going on in the game as well. And let me see. It is nothing, one out right here, bottom of the second, but first and third. So that's an interesting look right there. And we'll see if the Dodgers, they got to be up there, the home team. So we'll see if the Dodgers can get a run in right now in the bottom of the second. So there you go. And I'll keep you guys up to date on that bad boy. And that is our World Series game. And here we go. That is our TONX. Let's look at our Joey's jams, and then we'll look at our laptop travel list. See what you guys want to see. And like I said, we'll just kind of get ready for tomorrow morning and wake up and see what the market's going to bring us as it's Fed day. The Fed's going to speak around 2. We get our rate decision as well, and we'll see what else is going on. But I'd be pretty cautious going into it, that's for sure. And here we go with our Jolie's jams and see what's going on right here. It is RYM. And that one is, look at that, bouncing up in the after hours. I actually didn't see that either. So what do I miss everything when it starts running? I got to see when that happened right here. And when did that even start running up in the after hours? I don't even see it, but it looks like right there. I don't know. I guess it just ended up there. It looks like, I'm not even sure, at the very end of the day. But anyway, and it just stopped. I don't know. That chart looks a little goofy to me, but I know it's a pretty good one right here for rhythm. It used to be Agrify. We'll have to look at it tomorrow and see if it's really jumping up right there. So that is RYM. And let's see what our blink charging's doing right here. Let me hit that one right there. BLNK still pulling back and still looks like it could have a little more pullback in it. And good old Sezzle was pulling back some more. I definitely was looking at that one today, pull back. Sterling right here. It's not really, I mean, it's trying to set up. It's a little bit flat, but it has that resistance. I'm not so sure it can get through. I'll look at it tomorrow. We'll check it out in the morning. Rivian's trying to get set up right here, guys. I would say that could be a good opportunity right there for RIVN. So we'll be watching that one in the morning, see if that actually wants to do something. And let's see what Symbotic. I think that was pulling back as well. Yeah, I do remember looking at Symbotic today, and it was pulling back. So that's what our Joey's jams look like. And let's go ahead and see what our laptop travel list looks like. AIRG right here. And that one has earnings coming up on November 12th, and it is bouncing up there today. Let me take a better look at this AIRG. I didn't look at these. And if it can get through right there and get through that 50, of course, at 421, then you could really see it move for AIRG. And yeah, you can check that out. ANGH. Angami right here. I don't even know this one, but look at how solid it's been right there. It got into the 20 and kind of just stopped today, but that one was looking pretty solid as it ran up. ANGH right there. Yeah, I would keep an eye on that. It was looking pretty solid for ANGH. And COCP is Co-Crystal. We were looking at this one the other day as well. And it did run up to that 50, a little bit of pullback and staying in that channel. So you should have a little bounce around right there. IHT In Suites Hospitality is a hotel company, and that was bouncing around a little bit. Let me see what IHT is up to right here. And here we go. Bouncing around yesterday, bouncing around today. It looks like it's trying to get set up a little bit for IHT. Not looking bad. LIMN, it is Luminatus Pharma, something like that. It's a biotech company. That looks pretty good to curl up. I might be checking that out tomorrow. LIMN. Let me see. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there, guys. You might want to keep an eye on LIMN right there. And what's that? LZMH. LZMH. Let's see. That one's kind of spiked up today. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow. And QuantumScape right here was pulling back. I did see that one. And that might have some more pullback in it right here. So keep an eye on QuantumScape for a little more pullback. And SEGG is at lottery.com. I remember looking at it the other day. It was bouncing up off of one of these. I think it was this one right here, but I don't remember exactly. But it is in that channel right there, just kind of bouncing around. Let me take a better look at it. I remember when it was LTRY used to be the stock ticker right here, lottery.com. And let's see, SEGG. It doesn't look bad for that lottery.com. You can keep an eye on that. And our True Golf, I know we were looking at this the other week, not last week. And this one is curling up, setting up. I was looking at this at the end of the day, and then Laptop Travel had it on his list right here. And I said, I was just looking at True Golf right here. And it does. It looks like it's trying to set up a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well in the morning right there. So there you go. Well, your Laptop Travel list. So there you are. And let's see what's going on. How about Rocket? Zach, how are you this evening? Let me take a look. Just looked over. Not sure when you posted that, but Rocket right there. Whoa, that one took a good dip. I wasn't even looking at it today, to be honest with you. And October 30th, so they had their earnings on Thursday right there. And let's take a better look and see what's up with this RKT. And that is a nice dip. It could just be pulling back a little bit. As long as that 20 gets curled up in the right direction, it should be good. We'll look at that in the morning. Let me jot that down right here for RKT. I just know we were looking at it and it bounced up there, kind of hit the 50 area, had a little healthy pullback, should try to get set back up. So there you are with that one. And guessing nothing great being a date sensitive stock right there. And let's see, rate this auto correct sucks. Yeah, that's I hear you. I talk about the autocorrect all the time. It drives me nuts. You can't even figure out. I swear, I think Michael Anthony just talks into his phone and it just like makes whatever his sentences say whatever it wants to. But who knows what Michael Anthony? I'm not. I have no idea to be completely honest with you. But anyway, um, yeah, that's with rate being a date sensitive stock, and that is rocket companies, and obviously mortgage rates would be a pretty big thing with the rate being cut tomorrow. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at a little healthy pullback. Again, I do think we could see a little bit of pullback. Who the hell knows what Powell's gonna say? He's a kind of crazy dude when it comes to having the market and want to pop off of what he wants to say. That's for sure. It doesn't happen very often. And let's see, the Dodgers did score a run right there, and they are it's the top of the third, so it's 1-0 the Dodgers. So there you are. They did get a run in. That's the name of the game right there. Get them in scoring position and get them in. So top of the third, no outs. Blue Jays are up. See what they can do. And Michael Anthony's watching reruns of Mad Money. You're not kidding. He loves Kramer. It seems like I don't know when he watches Kramer, if he just watches it and then comes on here. But it is funny. He always says Kramer said this or Kramer said that. And we love Michael Anthony. He is completely entertaining, that's for sure. And here is the SPY right here. It was jumping up. And again, I am not convinced with it hitting that top like that. It tried to run up at the end of the day. I don't know. I wasn't trusting it, guys. I can tell you that. I don't trust it tomorrow, but we'll see what it opens up like. And like I said, I closed my positions in Microsoft, all that other good jazz, to make sure I had plenty of cash on hand if this thing wants to pull back. I'd be more than happy to grab any of these options that want to run up again, like Microsoft did today, or even like a Nvidia did today. Nvidia was a good one today as well. And that one popped up like almost 5% or even more. That one went crazy. But anyway, all these things are looking good. They just pop up there. But yeah, we'll have to play these setups because they are great. I mean, they just get that look, and and maybe they don't pop the very next day. But I'll tell you what, if you have a few options, they're worth it. You'll do better on that than you will, obviously. Trying to jump in and out of a bunch of them. And again, it comes down to the quality, not the quantity. You can jump around and make some money scalping them, obviously. You generally have to have some bigger positions or more money to really make a difference. But you can definitely do it, and you can do it in small size. Of course, you can do anything in small size or big positions. But obviously, you can make better money scalping things with large positions, and it kind of makes it worth your while if you jump in and out and something goes up a couple cents and you make like $700 or 1,000 or whatever it is, rather than just making like $20 or $70 or whatever the case is. But you guys understand my example, my analogy. And so yeah, but I look at these setups, and again, I used to trade all the penny stocks and all these setups and catch these big pops, but the markets are way different. And I just look at these things. I can tell they're just getting set up. I don't know what the hell's going on. I pay zero attention to the companies. I just know what's going on through the stock chart. And then we just have to believe in it because they pay out. And again, it's all about the quality and not the quantity to me. So that's why you see I do it the way I do it, to be completely honest with you. So that is how I try to look at the market. And again, I'll trade a couple here and there, but um, it's easier for me to catch these setups like a Microsoft and how AMD and these other guys and get into them and just know, like, you start one. If it pulls back a little bit, add a few of the options and go with the ETFs. And if you got a bunch of them and that thing explodes like Microsoft, you're confident that that chart's going to do it, then they pays out pretty well. So let me just send this send the text to my buddy. And tell him to hold on. All right, there we go. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. And my buddy had borrowed a stapler, now like a big stapler, and he wanted to drop it off, and I was just telling him I was on the show. But anyway, there you go. And so yeah, that is what I look for. But I do enjoy going on and doing all the live trading, checking everything out. It does keep my brain going too, and I get to know everything going on in the market. So I don't really have to do a whole lot of research either after that, because I'm sitting there just going through everything at that moment. So if you are in the Discord, definitely check it out, because Ben and I, we spend a bunch of time on there doing the live trading, answering questions, and obviously trying to steer everybody in the right direction. That's for sure. So you can trade whatever style you want. And again, if you have any questions about anything, just hit me up and send me a DM on X and I will respond. But here we go. Let's respond right through all these guys. We looked at the SPY. It was up some. And then Apple was kind of up a little bit. It was bouncing around, nothing crazy. Amazon, that was up a little bit too. So that one actually doesn't look too bad right there. Google had pulled back some. It was up a little bit in the morning, but then pulled back. Meta was just kind of jumping around, nothing real crazy. We know what Microsoft did today. We don't have to talk about it. And the video was up pretty big today too. If you look at that one, that jumped up as well. And there you go. So they had announced a $500 billion in AI chip bookings, unveils 7 new U.S. Department of Energy AI supercomputers, including the largest ever with Oracle. So now NVIDIA and Oracle, they're working together, launches $1 billion A16G partnership and takes $1 billion stake in Nokia, expands collaborations with Eli Lilly, Palantir, Uber, Lucid, Stellantis, Microsoft, and OpenAI, introduces NVQ Link quantum GPU platform with support from 17 quantum builders and 9 U.S. labs, and secures deals for America's first AI native 6G wireless stack and AI driven drug discovery, sending shares to a record high near a 5 trillion market cap. There you go. How about that news for NVIDIA? I don't know what I just read, but I just read you a bunch of stuff right there. I understood it probably until like right there, and then I got lost. But anyway, if you guys made sense of it, I'd hope so. And the video went crazy today. Let's put it that way. You can even see in the after hours it went nutty. So I'm not sure why we weren't jumping in that. But that's what we're gonna start doing, guys. Is just running through these options, and maybe it's not always the Mag 7, but whatever wants to set up and run big, we will definitely get cruising on it. So that is what we will be looking at. That's for sure. And let's see, that is NVIDIA. And let's look at our Tesla right here. And that was jumping up as well. Tesla options are super expensive though. So it's kind of hard to play that one and swing trade it, because them ones you pay a good premium and it has to really jump up there for you getting the money on it. So you got to be careful with that. And we look at them spreads and everything on the why we're trading, and try to determine if it's even worth it, obviously. So that is something that we always do. And let's see what else going on over here. And it looks like a commercial break, so they must be going to what, the bottom of the third. Wow, it's 2-1 now. The Blue Jays over the Dodgers. Now the Blue Jays just scored 2 runs, so they're up, and we're going to see if the Dodgers can score. What a good series it must be. Again, I'm just kind of watching the score thing on the app right here on the ESPN app. And let's see, Penguins and the Flyers ended overtime at 2-2, so I guess they're going to a shootout right there. And we'll have to see who wins that shootout. But anyway, Tesla, that's our Mag 7. AMC, let's get cruising right through and see what else is going on. A little bit of pullback right there. GameStop was also pulling back a little bit as well. And let's see what our Chewy was doing. It had a little bit of pullback down to that trend line, so we'll be keeping an eye on it. And Unity actually pulled back. That looked pretty good to try to run up some more. And it did pull back. Netflix trying to run back up. I'm not so sure it's ready to, but it just wanted to bounce back up a little bit today. AVGO right here doesn't look bad for tomorrow, so we might have to keep an eye on that AVGO. And let's see what our MU is up to. That one, it's not too bad. It does look like it could stay in the top right there. So we'll keep an eye on MU. Let me take a better look at it over here. And there is MU. And yeah, it does look pretty solid for tomorrow. So maybe we'll keep an eye on that. Amazon says massive layoffs are coming. So I think every company just recently said massive layoffs and AI is going to be replacing your job and robotics. So I'm not sure who's been saying that for a little while, guys, but I think we've heard that before somewhere. And there's Michael Anthony. How are you this evening? Right at 9 o'clock. Did Kramer's show just get over? We are just wondering if you always watch Kramer and then hop on here. And that's the big question there, Michael Anthony. So we were wondering if you watch Kramer and if it's a replay or if it's a live show, and then you come on to our show. So we were just wondering. DJT reported news today, and the SEC filing, that chart looks good. And let's look at our DJT. I know you've been pounding the table on this DJT to Trump media. Amazon's laying off 14,000 workers, and that's people are cutting back right there. Zach's cracking up over there. And DJT, yeah, it did try to jump up a little bit. I do think it's still getting set up. I don't even know if you'll get through there, Michael Anthony, just yet. I think tomorrow you might see a little bit of pullback. But it did jump up. Look at that big bounce up there to 1790, and it's at 1619. We'll look at it again. We'll see if it can get through. It isn't looking bad. It was getting set up pretty well, and it could continue to try to set up. So we'll definitely look at that one. And literally, Luis Rodriguez had just said Amazon massive layoffs coming, and then Michael Anthony followed up with Amazon laying off the 14,000 workers, and that people are cutting back. I don't know if people are cutting back. I mean, the companies are cutting back because they just can put AI in for your job. So I've explained this a million times, and I know you wouldn't want to miss a Kramer show right there, Zach. Of course not. Kramer, I'm telling you, I used to watch Mad Money back in the day. He used to be good, and I don't know what happened. It was like he suffered a brain injury like me, except everything he says, the opposite completely happens like every time, to the point where it's like memes online. I mean, everybody points it out. It's not like I'm the only one saying this. It's pretty well known at this point that if Kramer says something, you better expect the opposite to happen. So it's not just me saying it. It's like literally like a meme all over the stock world. But yeah, he used to be really good. I'm telling you, I know he used to be because I used to watch Mad Money. Maybe that's where I get the idea, not the whole idea of like doing kind of a fast show or whatever. It's not like I'm sitting there pushing buttons, but we do a sometimes we do our puppet show. I had Mr. Bull hop on here in the beginning, so there you go. I do a puppet show every once in a while. Mr. Bull, you were backwards. What the heck am I even doing right there? But anyway, yeah, we maybe that's where I got the idea for all that good stuff. But I used to enjoy watching that Mad Money, and he would run around like a maniac hitting buttons and have like sound effects and all kinds, like the bull and I don't even know if there was a bear sound, but all kinds of weird things. And I used to find it pretty entertaining. And again, that was way back in the day. And so yeah, I thought it was good. And then like I said, he used to be pretty accurate, but now he's not very accurate anymore. But anyway, let's look and see. Look at that line across on Finviz. Should have knew that DJT was going to bounce back. Oh, we knew it was on that. Michael, were you listening just a little bit ago? Because I literally was talking about these trend lines and everything right there. And yeah, I was just saying on Finviz, you get these trend lines drawn in, and they're absolutely amazing. I don't know what the hell the algorithm is, but they are incredible. And yeah, they do bounce off of them. And so there you go. Yep, LA and Toronto went 18, ending for Fred to hit a home run. And that was a great game last night. And Toronto just hit a home run just now. Did they just hit one? Well, that could have been. Hold on, you made me. It's 2-1, but I don't know if they actually hit a home run. I wasn't paying attention, but they very well could have. It's the bottom of the third with 2 outs, 2-1, and the Toronto is up right there. So that is the game update. And let's go through and see what else is going on. Hold on, I didn't even finish our list. I think I stopped at MU and got sidetracked by Michael Anthony probably. But anyway, let's go through real fast and see what's going on. TSM not looking bad right there either. So maybe these semiconductors are trying to get some of this money into them. Look at that. TSM could get a little curl up there tomorrow. SMCI wasn't looking bad either. So I would say let's watch the semiconductors tomorrow. That's for sure. Hold on. Let me see. Semiconductors, we might want to keep on our watch list tomorrow because they are looking pretty good, and it has been just kind of rotating around right now since the quantum and computer hardware and everything else took a big old dip down. And yeah, SMCI, AMD, that one's pulling back, but that could stay up in the top right there and keep going. Qualcomm did pull back, but had a massive run up yesterday, so we will keep an eye on that one. Good old Qualcomm, QCOM. And how about Snow right here jumping up? Remember, we were saying Snow wanted to go up? Well, it certainly did. And PayPal ripped up there today, but then pulled back. So that is PayPal. And Intel right here has been pretty good. So yeah, Intel looking pretty decent right there, getting into the top. Might want to keep an eye on that one as well, trying to run up. So yeah, some of these semiconductors looking pretty good. Dell was running up, not looking bad, but it has that resistance right above it. And IBM right here did spike up some more tomorrow. It's in the morning, and it's in the top right there. And we'll have to see what it wants to do in the morning. But that is your IBM. And your good old Palantir right here was jumping up a little bit, hitting that resistance right there. We'll have to see how it comes off. It'll probably bounce down a little bit to get set up. And Sophie right here, SoFi Technologies running up. And remember who was saying that one was looking good. So there you go with Sophie. I would say we got to just play the ones that we say are looking really good because they always run just like Sophie just did, and Microsoft did, and everything else. So Mara right there pulling back, Riot pulling back a little bit as well. Crypto's pulling back some. We already went through it, and Clean Spark right there was pulling back, and MicroStrategy right here, MSTR, that was pulling back. So getting a little bit of pullback with all them. Robinhood was up a little bit, but just kind of hanging out as it's hitting the MACD. It might not get through. And Coinbase was pulling back a little bit. Bull, another one pulling back some. So yeah, I think Bull was still getting set up. I didn't think it was going to get through there. Let it bounce down one more time. Catch these bottoms for your options and buy them out a little further. And that thing is going to be cruising right there for BULL. So I do think Bull's getting set up. Space right here is pulling back a little bit, but nothing crazy. That was also getting set up before. And Boeing's getting set up. You can see Boeing's getting ready to try to run up a little bit right there. And we were just looking at our DJT and that Funware. I just kind of taken it off because it wasn't really doing a whole lot. And you can see it pulling back right there. And Nike right there is pulling back. And you were saying Disney was pulling back, and that certainly is. It did look like it was trying to set up, but it is pulling back. McDonald's also pulling back right there. So a lot of them pulling back. Oxy as well came way down. I saw that. And ExxonMobil, RBNE, it was trying to set up, and even that pulled back right there. You can see that. That was trying to get moving, and today it definitely pulled back on us. So yeah, a lot of them were pulling back, as obviously as you can see. Gush right there pulled back. And that is what the market looked like, Michael Anthony. And so yeah, that's what we're getting out of our market tonight. And we're just kind of waiting tomorrow because the Fed speaks at 2, rate cut at 2, and we'll have to hear what Powell has to say, of course. So let's go ahead and see. And you said that Sophie at $6 looked good, and still can buy the dips to go long and stay long, bigger dips. So there you are. And isn't Boeing reporting tomorrow? We'll have to look at it with Sophie. Yeah, 31. I mean, we were all talking about this thing, and obviously in April, everything looked great. So I would say in April, you could have bought anything, and it would be going up right now. Boeing's earnings are coming up, and they are tomorrow. You're absolutely right there, Louis Rodriguez. Michael Anthony, you're right there. They are tomorrow for Boeing's earnings. And let me go through and see what's going on up here. We were talking about the Microsoft options, and they were beauties right there. And let's see. it was the best case scenario for everybody. The earnings coming up, you got the pop, and then you don't have to deal with the volatility. So yeah, I was saying how I just got rid of them. ASST was we were talking about that one, and TerraWolf had been running up there. VC, we were looking at that bad boy. Janica, thank you for pointing that out. I did not see it run up at the end of the day right there. NARQT right here, Arcutis Biotherapeutics. That looks like it's running up on Laptop Travel. So might want to keep an eye on that one in the morning. What is W? Oh, that's at Wayfair. That was running up on earnings today. I remember seeing that. And Camco CCJ is a uranium one, and that does have earnings coming up at the end of next week. Let's just see uranium ones right here. Oh, they look really good, huh? Let's keep our eyes on these guys. Oh my, what was that one? UEC. Oh yeah, look at these guys right here. All right, uranium looking good, guys. So let's keep an eye on uranium tomorrow. Let me jot one of these down so I can get back in here and see what they are. Uranium, and that's AEC. At least I'll know one of them so I can get back to uranium because that looks good. That one looks to run up a little more. They all look pretty good right there. That one looks really good, I must say. And this one looks pretty decent. But they all look like they have a little momentum in them. So, yeah, keep an eye on uranium tomorrow. That is looking pretty strong. This one went up like a 14% right there. This one was up today, and look at that curling up. So, uranium could get cruising, guys. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. So, that was a good one right there. I'll even jot down that CCJ. Is that what that was? Yeah, that was good. And VC, we were talking about that, and Bitcoin coming back down. NVIDIA, Palantir, and Microsoft. And let me see, Janik, I am not swinging any of them right now, to be honest with you. I didn't have any in the video. I wish I had, though, because that one ran pretty damn nice, I must say. And I did get out of my Microsoft calls. Again, I do think it might go up a little more in the morning. I'm not going to lie, but I wasn't trusting it, and I had a few calls on all that, so I wanted to lock in those profits. And I know if I sell it, it'll go up for everybody else. But no, I just was playing it a little cautious, and I had been saying that as well. And Palantir, I didn't have any of that. I should have, though, because it was looking pretty good. But no, I should have had Sophie. It was looking good. Palantir's up here at the top. I think that one could be pulling back a little bit. And again, I think the market could. So we'll definitely be seeing what's going on. FOMC tomorrow, and then Microsoft, Google, Meta earnings, report earnings after hours. So yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy tomorrow, guys. Back in the green, you said, with your Disney puts, so that's good. And let's see, 98% chance that Trump meets with Xi before Friday, according to the Poly market. So there you go, Luis Rodriguez. That's a good stat right there. And that'll catapult. So whatever happens tomorrow, and that's why I'm saying be cautious tomorrow, and then I think we'll have some great opportunities perhaps. And if we do, we get into them, because I think the markets will be running right back up there. So that is what we'll be looking at. And what is ECG? You guys, I think we were talking about something, electrocardiogram, and weren't we talking about something else? I don't even know. Z Space CLS, what was that doing? Didn't we look at that? I forget. Celestica, that had been running up today. You're right. I did forget about that one. And doesn't look too bad right there for CLS. So keep an eye on that. ASST and a bearish downtrend. I can't read. And likely to retest. I agree. I think that one is. And like I said, I did jump out of that one as well. And it just wasn't looking right to me. So it could have that little healthy pullback look, but I don't trust it either. So I was hopping out of that. And today they raised $8.6 million for warrant exercises to increase their Bitcoin holdings to 5,957. So there you go with ASST, but we'll keep an eye on and see what it wants to do. That DZZ, we were looking at that gold one right there, and that one I'll be keeping an eye on as well. And RKT, we were talking about rocket companies, and again, that one's a little, that one doesn't look bad. Like I was saying, it could bounce right back up in the rates. We'll have something to do with that one. And let's see what else is going on right here. Talking about Amazon laying off 14,000 workers. And, of course, Kramer's show, we were talking about that, DJT. And, of course, our game last night. Holy cow, we keep talking about it. I think I'm like delusional from watching that thing. And I passed out halfway, or not halfway. I passed out in the extra innings. and woke up and it was like in the 15th inning. I swear I thought the replay was on, and I was like, does that say 1-5? I'm like, I can't believe that's the 15th inning. So yeah, I had to watch till the end now, and I'm sure I was in and out of consciousness trying to pay attention to it. But what a wild game it was, that's for sure. And let's see, Michael Anthony said he always watches the charts, and this chart that he always used to buy that I always hold for longer than a day. Then when I feel I have plenty of profit, then sell. All right, so that's what Michael Anthony said. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but anyway, that's his. Here, if you want to hear, that is what Michael Anthony's philosophy is right there. He says he always watch the charts, and my chart that I always use to buy, that I always hold for longer than a day. Then when I feel I have plenty of profit, then sell. So there you go. I love it, Michael Anthony. That is a great philosophy right there. And I think I'm going to stick to the Michael Anthony philosophy on when to sell, because I don't ever seem to exactly know either. I'm not going to lie, Michael Anthony. It seems to be like the hardest thing to do is figure out when to hit the sell button. So maybe if I just go by that philosophy right there, we'll all do pretty well. So whenever you feel you have plenty of profit, then just sell it, guys. That is a good way to look at it, Michael Anthony. I do like it. I might have to take you up on that philosophy right there. And you have held Pfizer for 9 months to get over $12,000. How much freaking Pfizer do you have, Michael Anthony? How much is the Pfizer? It's at 24 something, and their dividends over here pay out 43. Someone has to do the math. How much Pfizer does Michael Anthony have? That sounds like it's insane, Michael Anthony. If I could do math, I would figure it out, but I have no idea. 43 cents in the $12,000. Would that tell me how much it is? I'm not even sure, Michael Anthony. Don't ask me hard questions like this anymore. I used to be good at this stuff, but not so much anymore. Hold on, 12,000. I can't even do that. 12,000. Is it the 12,000 times 43? Is that going to give me the answer? Do you have 5,160 shares of Pfizer at 24? And let's just say it's at $24. So I'll just round it down. I don't know when you were buying it, but even if you were buying it this entire time, your average would be somewhere around like 23. So I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll say you bought it at $23. That's $118,680 if I did the math right. I'm not exactly sure if I even did that problem right, guys. So someone better redo the math for me. And I did say that the shares would cost $23, and it would have to be 5,160 shares to get that much. What did you say? $12,000 in dividends is what I come up with. I'm not sure if my math was right there, but anyway, someone else said that. I got to write that down. $5,160. Why do I always hit this like volume button? Hold on. Is everything all right? I don't know what the heck I even hit, but I hit some volume button, but it does seem like everything's good. So here, 5,160 shares, and I times that by 23. Where did I even get that? I have no idea. What the heck did I even do? I'm just writing this down because I got to see this again. And I don't even know if I did that problem right. But anyway, do you have 5,160 shares, Michael Anthony? Is that how many you have to have for a $12,000 in dividends? So that would be, and it would cost $118,000 at $23. That's where I got the $23. So that 23. So yeah, I figured $23 per share. And that's pretty wild, Michael Anthony, if you have that much of it and just holding on for that much of a dividend. That's crazy. Anyway, let's keep on cruising through, and somebody can check my math because I have no idea if I even did that problem right. So here we go. And let's see, watch a leg for a dip. That report this morning. And the Boeing is reporting tomorrow. Here's Leggett and Platt. Not even familiar with that one, but that did look like they had earnings, and it does look all green right there. So that doesn't look bad. It could even keep momentum. Laptop travel. You can keep an eye on legs, see if it wants to leg up and hop up there tomorrow morning. UEC. Look at that. Look at this. That made a profit last earnings. UEC. And this one is jumping up, not looking bad right there. It could continue to curl up a little bit tomorrow. That's a uranium energy one. And again, uranium looking pretty good. So I must say you could keep an eye on that one just because that whole sector looks good right there. And let's see, Target just announced 1,000 corporate layoff letters this evening to make sure no one shows up tomorrow, causing mass traffic in downtown Minnesota. Is that true? That would be pretty wild. Last time they did this, there was people everywhere with their boxes of office stuff in the skyways and flooding the area, causing mayhem. Oh, wow, that's pretty wild. I had no idea. I thought you were just joking around. That's pretty crazy there. So I would say everybody's laying people off and lots of people, huh? So I don't know who had been saying this was going to happen, but I think we had heard about that before. It might have been on this show, but I'm not exactly 100% sure if we were talking about AI kind of taking a lot of jobs and then robotics coming in. So, like I say, we just kind of call it how it's going to happen. That's all. But that's crazy there, Zach. I had no idea. And there's another one if that's, I'm sure he's telling the truth. So, yeah, Target's announcing job layoffs as well, and you can go long on ARLP, according to Michael Anthony, and stay long and collect 60-cent dividends. So how much is ARLP? I don't even know what that is. Michael Anthony seems to be a dividend kind of guy. That doesn't even look bad on that setup, but I'm not sure. What do they pay on? What did you say? 60 cents. Yep, that's exactly what you said. Like I said, I don't even know what my Pepsi stock pays. What does that even pay for the dividend? $1.42. Look at that, Michael Anthony. I have a bunch of this. I get a pretty decent dividend check, but I'm not like living off of it. But it's a decent little check there. But yeah, I mean, how much freaking? Which one were we even talking about? Oh yeah, Pfizer. That's what we were talking about. So you have 10,000 shares, then the big pop, and then you sold. So hold on, I got to go back and look. So got to see two games last night. Yeah, it was like two games last night, Zach. 18 inning game. It's like basically playing two games on. You know, them players are tired, and the pitching was all kind of. You have to really figure out pitching at that point. It kind of throws everything off a little bit, but interesting game to go 18 innings. And Michael Anthony had 10,000 shares. And what did I say? Now you'd have 5,100. Wow, that's a lot of shares, and you sold them off. When the big pop happened, what, during COVID? Is that what you're talking about? Let me go back here. And during here, is this when you sold them off when they were jumping up there at like $61 and during the COVID days? And now it's way down there again. So that would be pretty wild there, Michael Anthony, if you have 5,160 shares. And what was your cost average then? Let's see. Where did you buy them? If you were selling them back there, you could be up even a little higher. It depends when you bought it. I don't know if you bought them like decades ago. So I'm not sure where you bought them at, Michael Anthony. That's for sure. But anyway, it's a lot of shares and a bunch of money in Pfizer. Let's put it that way. So that's what we come to the conclusion of, everybody. So everybody knows that Michael Anthony has a bunch of Pfizer, I think. And I guess you really love that company. I'm not sure why you would have that many shares of Pfizer. I probably would have sold all 10,000 shares when it was up there. But anyway, that's how I would have rolled. But Michael Anthony said, no, I'm keeping that dividend and somehow get some crazy dividend checks. So there you are. And Luis Rodriguez, he says he sticks with his price targets based on the implied projected move of the option chain. There you go. That's a pretty good way to do it, Luis Rodriguez. And you started buying 2,000 and then keep buying them until you had 10,000 shares. Well, that's how you do it. So interesting, Michael Anthony. He just kept buying Pfizer. He sold shares on a big pop over 27, and that he's looking at PFE again, but need to see mostly at 23. So there you are, everybody. Michael Anthony, the Pfizer wizard over there. And I guess he always does talk about Pfizer, I must say. So I'm not so sure I'd be buying that much Pfizer, but hey, if it's working out for you, that's all that matters. Everybody has a different style and method, that's for sure. And the Blue Jays 2, the Dodgers 1 at the end of the fourth right there. So we'll see what comes happening in the fifth inning. ARLP is coal. And ARLP, didn't it just say, oh, that's thermal coal right there. Which one was nuclear? I don't even know. You're making my head spin right now with all these Pfizer shares and trying to figure that out. That was like the hardest problem to figure out. ARLP right here, a lot, and I still don't know if I did it right. You guys could check my math. I have no idea if I did that problem right, but it sounded right to me. And ARLP, Alliance Resource Partners, and that one is kind of crawling up right there. Not so sure I know anything about thermal coal companies, but let's look at it because there's not many of them, and that's dipping. That was kind of that one could run. Yeah, they're not looking that crazy right there, so I'd have to look at it. They ARLP would look the best, and then this other one right about that one could have a little momentum. HNRG or HNRG, yeah. So there you go with them. And let's see what else is going on. Classic example of why you're not a Jim Cramer fan. On January 23rd, he talked up ARLP when it was at $29. Several months later, it crashed. That's pretty funny. And now we're talking about ARLP. And so yeah, that's pretty funny. January 23rd. Let's see. That would have been like right there. And then yeah, it definitely came down and crashed. And everything kind of did in April, but not yeah, I guess everything did in April. But look, it never ran up like everything else too. So it did kind of just come down and crash. Luis Rodriguez, you're 100% right. Where everything else went like this, straight up. This kept going down. So that's pretty funny right there. That's a perfect example of Kramer at his finest. It's bizarre, but they do. They just do the opposite of what he's going to say. It's kind of like he's manipulating them for a reason. I don't know if he's shorting things, what the hell goes on. But anyway, it's been dead money ever since. You're not kidding. Definitely hasn't been mad money, that's for sure. And except for the dividend, of course, well, that'll still pay you out. And it's only a 60-cent dividend. Again, like I said, Pepsi pays out like $1 something, guys. So there you go. Look at that, $1.42 I get per dividend. I don't know what's the most expensive payout dividends. I have no idea. I'm not a dividend person. I just have a bunch of Pepsi and it gives me a dividend check. That's all I know. And but anyway, game in the fifth ending already. It's ending already. What are you talking about? It's 2-1. What are you talking about, Michael Anthony? It's top of the fifth and it's 2-1. I'm not sure what's ending over there, but let's see what's going on over here, and let me see what else is happening. And if I missed anything, let me see what's trending. Let's check out. Again, I don't think there's a whole lot happening here, guys. To be completely honest with you, I'd be a little cautious going into tomorrow. We did our whole list. We did our crypto. We checked out everything and went through our what you guys were looking at. So let's see if we can find anything exciting for tomorrow. And I would be more cautious than anything. And let's see, Nvidia's up. BE, I'm not sure what that is. And that's Bloom Energy right there. That's not looking bad. So let's write down BE right there, looking pretty decent for tomorrow. No Kia went crazy. I was telling I'm not even kidding. I in that account where I was talking about where I had to sell what the heck was it? It wasn't SBET, S dot, whatever it was. In that account, I used to have a bunch of Nokia, guys, and I had recently sold it all. And look at it, it just ran up like crazy today. How funny is that? So there you go. It's just the story of my life right there, I'd say, in the market. But yeah, I saw that cruising today. I was like, go figure, Nokia went nuts. I figured that soon as I sell it, it's like open doors for it to go popping like crazy. And there you go. So you're not the only ones, guys, that happens to. That seems to happen to everybody for some reason. But I was laughing to Ben about it earlier because Nokia went nutty today with Nvidia investing $1 billion in Nokia for a 2.9 stake. And yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff happening right there. That's for sure. And let's see what else is going on. LDI, let's see what that looks like. It didn't look that great today, and I was said I had gotten out the other day, and glad I did. And yeah, it just kind of jumping around here, and again, I just don't know. It does look like it could try to curl up. Doesn't look bad. I'll look at it tomorrow. I would rather play it after the rates or whatever. I'm not trying to play anything anticipating on the I know we know it's going to be a 0.25, but you just don't know what Powell's going to say. And then you have a bunch of earnings coming out after. And again, I would play it safe than sorry. Maybe we see some good dip opportunities. I would rather have some cash on hand, mostly cash, and then I can just attack the market. Obviously, like my Teslas and stuff like that, I'm obviously not selling them. They're long calls, and I'm keeping them long. My bull options and things like that, I said we're going to be long, but yeah, Microsoft, I hopped out of them, locked them in just because I didn't trust it. Did I really think that it could run tomorrow morning? Absolutely. It looks like it could run some more, but I just don't trust it enough to hold it there. So I said, I'm going to take my money. And like I said, T-Doc I have, and I actually forgot to sell it. And they have earnings tomorrow, so we'll see how that looks. And yeah, I totally forgot I was going to sell for the little loss there, but hey, we'll see what it does tomorrow morning, I guess, for TDOC. And I only had a couple calls, so it wasn't the end of the world right there. And I did forget about it, and I do have the TONX, and that one did pull back in the after hours. But this thing was looking really good, and still does kind of look good. So if stocks were overvalued last month, what is he going to say about them now? And so, yeah, that's pretty funny. And LDI or UWMC, let's see what that's doing. They're rate sensitive ones, UWMC. And let's see. Again, just kind of like LDI, it's in this channel right here. It's not even doing anything crazy if this is a rate sensitive one. And I kind of think that the rates are already factored into the market for the most part, just because everybody's known that it's going to be happening. And then it's going to come up to what Powell's going to say. And then I think everybody's anticipating on this China trade talk with Trump at the end of the week. So I just think it's going to be a little weird going into the rates, but then we figure it out and maybe we catch a nice dip opportunity and can run the market up. That's what I'm looking at for tomorrow anyway. So we'll see what happens. And you guys know we'll be on at 7 a.m. to see exactly what's going on in the market, if we can even tell at by 7 a.m., 4 a.m. market. And the 4 a.m. Warriors will already be popping. So if you're in the Discord, you know Laptop Travel will be on at 4 a.m. What is 4 a.m. Warriors now in the market? And then we'll get back on at 7 a.m., check out what's going on, and then obviously do our thing for pre-market, and then I'll hop back on around 9:15 in the Discord with Ben. We'll go through the morning as well, and you guys can check that out. We'll do some live trading, and then we'll check out in the afternoon and do some more live trading, but obviously see what's going on at 2 o'clock when the rate things happen and the rate cut. And Powell's speaking, so I kind of think that we're going to be waiting for that. And let's see, Michael Anthony said the problem is the share price, that at 1,000 shares would be 150,000 unless you get the dip lower. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Michael Anthony. At right now, where I was factoring it in, you have like $118,000 worth of Pfizer. So that seems pretty crazy. So crazy. I must just like smash my tooth out. Oh my God, that was pretty funny. But yeah, you have a ton of money in Pfizer is what it sounds like to me. And what did you say? 5,000. So you get a $5,160 dividend check. And yeah, it's pretty wild, I must say. And my Pepsi check isn't quite that much. I'm not going to lie. I get a pretty decent check. But like I said, I'm not making a living off of it. And that dividend's way higher, $1.42. So anyway, there you go, Michael Anthony. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. And no problem. Zach and Luis Rodriguez and everybody else hanging out. And we'll check and see what's the game up to right here. It looks like it's in between innings, mid-fifth right there, going to the bottom of fifth, still 2-1. The Blue Jays over the Dodgers. So there you are, everybody. And I would say, like I've been telling you, not a whole lot happening here, Robin, in the market. And obviously Microsoft, NVIDIA, AVGO, Amazon, Tesla, green. But look at the rest of the market, red. I think it might be a little weird in the morning. We'll be looking at it at 7 a.m. to see exactly what it wants to do. And we'll be going through it at 9 as well in the Discord. But of course, our 7 a.m. pre-market show, you guys know we'll be going through the market, and we'll figure out which direction things want to go. If anything wants to be popping, what wants to get set up. Not a whole lot of setups here, I can promise you that. So I know Laptop Travel, he was having a hard time finding a bunch of setups as well. So usually when we can't find anything, you know something's happening in the market. We did look at our UVXY. That was kind of pulling up a little bit. We were looking at it last night saying it didn't look too bad right there. So there you go. It's your UVXY. and your futures right there. There's your VIX, and we'll take a quick look at it. It was trying to run up a little bit today right there. As you can see, you could get a little curl up, like I was saying, then it probably wouldn't get through the MACD, but that little bit of curl up would definitely make it try to run up a little bit. And Laptop Travel likes MAGS. And let's see what's going on with MAGS right here. And that's at Mag 7. Yeah, that's pretty nice right there. That one is a pretty good one, I must say. Look at that thing, because at any point, any of these Mag 7 can carry up the entire thing. So, and we see it all the time. NVIDIA just did it. Microsoft popped. Tesla's looking good. So, yeah, that MAGS looking pretty good, I must say. Laptop Travel. I'll have to keep an eye on that and keep that on my watch list. And you can buy ARLP at $24 to buy 3,000 shares to get 60 cents times 3. And that's $1.80 in dividend. And that you're watching the dip tomorrow for Palcom and could knock shares lower. Where did you get times 3? I don't even know what you're talking about. Right? Oh, times 3,000? Oh, I have no idea what you're. I have no idea, Michael Anthony. At $24 to buy 3,000 shares. So if you're at, hold on, I got to go look at this thing now. You got me intrigued with these. I don't even care about dividends, but yeah, $24, right? You're saying 3,000 shares. I can't figure that. I should be able to do that in my head, but for whatever reason, I can't anymore. But 3,000 times $24 is what? 72K. So I knew that was going to be a pretty good amount. So that's $72,000 to get 60 cents on your dividend. So then you would get, so for $72,000, now we'd have to look at 3,000 shares times what the heck is your dividend? 60 cents, you said? 60 cents. So let's go back and go 3,000 times 0.60, and that's $1,800. You're getting $1,800, and you got to fork out. What did I even say? I don't even know. 72,000 possibly. A whole lot of money. I don't even. Yeah, there you go. You buy 3,000 shares at 20. It adds up to be 72K. And then you get $1,800 back for dividends. So you're going to fork out $72,000 to get $1,800 back every couple months. It doesn't even make sense. Now, obviously, you still own the shares, and it can go up and obviously make money on that. But that's a lot of money to have tied up for $1,800, Michael Anthony. That's why I just don't understand it. And yeah, I mean, I just don't understand like the whole dividend thing. It just does. You have to own so much of it. And again, I have a bunch of Pepsi, but it's not like it's like paying my bills or anything. And I do. I have a bunch of it, but it's just kind of sitting there. It's not even doing it. I just literally leave it there. I don't trade it. I don't do anything with it. And it just makes a dividend check and it just hangs out. But I don't know. It's not like I just have like one of them, and I don't really. Again, if it was really lucrative, I'd probably do it with a bunch of them. But it just doesn't seem that lucrative to buy $72,000 worth of a stock to get $1,800 in 3 months, or every 3 months. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, guys, but that's how I look at it. And again, everybody has their different method and style of the way they like to trade. I guess Michael Anthony's a dividend type of guy. I have no idea. He has talked about Pfizer and stuff like that before, so I have no clue. And Top Travel said, maybe you should do an interview with Dougie. Yeah. Oh, dude, Michael Anthony, would you ever come on? It would be so fat. I agree 100%. Michael Anthony, would you like to come on for an interview? I would interview you in a heartbeat. I think it would be completely fascinating to get your take on all kinds of things. So if you're interested, shoot me I asked you before, shoot me a DM on X and just say, yo, it's Michael Anthony. And I'll even follow you right back. I promise you, because you are intriguing. But yeah, I'll definitely have you on the show any point, and we can definitely do an interview. I'll ask you a bunch of great questions about the market and obviously about your Pfizer shares and dividends and everything else. And I think people would probably enjoy it. So you let me know, Michael Anthony. I would obviously be very open to that. Laptop Travel. It would be pretty fascinating. 100% I agree. So dividends can save your butt when shares going lower. That dividends are great until the shares rebound. No, I'm not saying that. But again, I mean, if you have $72,000 in wrapped into this thing, and it starts dipping down pretty heavy, and you're only getting like $1,800 back every 3 months. I mean, it's not really saving you that much, is it? So I understand what you're saying. It's like and again, I get the Pepsi one, and it's always like pretty much a set price for whatever reason. I don't think it really bounces off. Oh yeah, because it's always set off at the dividend price. So no matter where the price is on the stock, you get 60 cents. So the price could be up here, it could be down here. You still get 60 cents a share, and for your dividend price or payout. But yeah, again, I just don't know, it can't be that lucrative. But anyway, common core math right there. But yeah, I don't see putting 72K in for 1800. But anyway, that's just what I look at, Michael Anthony, and obviously we all look at different things, and everybody else. A little insight into Michael Anthony and all of his dividends right there. Pretty fascinating. And yeah, Michael Anthony, I promise you, shoot me a message on X and I will definitely have you on. We'll do a great interview about dividends, the market, everything. I'll definitely talk to you for a while because you're a fascinating individual for sure. We think you're completely entertaining, I promise you, and not in a bad way. You come up with some great. I mean, you called the market dip like to the T when it had that huge pullback that Friday. I was pretty fascinated by that call. And I don't even know how you pulled that one out, Michael Anthony. But yeah, and you always bring some pretty decent ones to the table, I must say. And a lot of them I never even look at or seen before. So yeah, you look at all kinds of different things. You pay dividends and all kinds of weird things. But then you say some real fascinating stuff too. And I don't even know. Do you talk to your phone, like into your phone, and then it gets autocorrect and you don't like go back and proofread it? I'm fascinated by your sentence structure and everything else, especially with my brain injury. It's tough for me to read anyway. And then I get to your messages and I have no idea what's going on. So sometimes I can understand, but there's other times I just have no idea what you're talking about. And it just makes it even more interesting, I guess. So with RFK running his mouth has put drug companies lower. And yes, that's look, the drug companies aren't exactly helping anybody anyway. So there you are. And Janica likes Common Core math right there. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about $72,000 to make 1,800 in 3 months. It just doesn't seem like it adds up to me. But anyway, what do I know? Michael Anthony does his thing, and that's his Common Core math right there. I just don't see it, but hey, have 70. He wants to buy more of it. He wants to buy Pfizer and like another 100. He has like $118,000 in Pfizer, guys. That's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Michael Anthony has some pretty heavy bags over there, I would say, and he's collecting dividend checks and living off of them. Why he has like six figures stacked in some of these stocks over here. It's pretty wild. I'm fascinated, Michael Anthony. I'm not gonna lie. So that is Common Core math right there, Janica, for sure. Common Core Math 101 right on this show tonight on Dougie Fresh Live Stock Chart Picks or something we call it. I don't even know what we should call this show. I should just call it the Michael Anthony Show because it would be pretty fascinating and just have Michael Anthony on all the time as a sidekick because I get it. I'm telling you, that's fascinating. The fact that you just told us 72,000 and like you're like looking at these things like you want to buy like $72,000 worth of this thing, 3,000 shares of $24 adds up to 72K so that you can make $1,800 and like you're just dead set on it. Like I mean, I just don't understand it, Michael Anthony. I would love to have a conversation about that with you. But anyway, we won't just keep beating that up and talking about it while you're not on the show. So yeah, please hit me up and come on the show. I got so many questions for you. It's insane. And that's what our heat map looked like, Michael Anthony and Janica and Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez and Robin and everybody else like Zach getting a kick out of all this good stuff. And yeah, I'm telling you, everybody does like Michael Anthony. I get messages and everybody's fascinated by you. I must say, you definitely are. You fascinate me. Coal's being used more in the weather than certain stocks that buy certain times of the year. Again, I mean that's a perfect example of I have no idea what you're even talking about, but it is fascinating, Michael Anthony. Coal is being used more in the weather. I would assume like it's getting cold that certain stocks that buy certain times of the year. What the heck is he talking about, guys? And this is what I mean. This is a very fascinating individual, Michael Anthony. So yeah, we appreciate all the entertainment. We definitely love it, and we love when you come on, especially with your Kramer insight as well. I enjoy the Kramer insight all the time. So I was just wondering if you do watch Kramer right before the show and always just kind of have that fresh on your brain, like Kramer said something and now you're ready to speak about it. But anyway, I have a million questions for you, Michael Anthony. So again, hit me up on X. I will definitely have you on the show. I think it would be great. And yeah, I could talk to you for a few hours. And Garfalar said the math ain't nothing. The math ain't math, and he said that's too funny, Garfalar. The math ain't math, and you said there you go. So yeah, I don't get it, guys, but what do I know? I'm sitting over here with a brain injury. I'm like half a moron. All I can do is look at a stock chart, right? I'll tell you, there's like two things I could do in life pretty well anymore. And like I told you, it was the two things that I just kept doing since I got hit in the head. They never took my license, so I can drive pretty well. I sit down, it's like a video game, but I get super zoned in and I can see like everything. I drive well, like I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty focused on driving. And then I get out of the car and I'm like, oh, that was just like a video game. It's so bizarre, but I am really focused on driving. And then I can sit here and do these stock charts, and I never stop doing either of them. And it's just kind of amazing to me that I can just kind of do these two things. But and Michael Anthony, there you go. I would say math is math right there, Michael Anthony. You're 100%. And but yeah, I mean, your math is not making sense to me, but according to you, it makes a lot of sense, and that's all that matters, Michael Anthony. You're obviously doing well. You're buying like $118,000 in Pfizer stock just to have some dividend, and so you could have what? I forget what the stock was even that dividend was, but yeah, and then you had $72,000 of ARLP, a stock I've never even heard of in my life before. I mean, who even knows what Alliance Resource Partners is? A thermal coal company. I've never heard of it. Maybe Laptop Travel probably heard of it, or Luis Rodriguez, but I don't know this company. And you want $72,000 worth of it, so you could have $1,800 in dividends. So I'm completely fascinated by that, Michael Anthony. I don't know. And but yeah, math is math. It sure is. Any which way you look at it. I mean, I tried to break it down. I don't even know if my math was done right, Michael Anthony, but you were trying to help me out there. So it seemed like I was on the right page, at least with you anyway. I don't know, but I'm not on the right page. But spending $72,000 for an 1,800-hour return in 3 months, I just don't see it happening for me. I would have to pass on that investment, I would think, but it's an investment Michael Anthony actually likes. So there you go, everybody. Fascinating insight into dividends and everything else, Michael Anthony. And I'm telling you, please hit me up, Michael Anthony. We definitely have to dissect this dividend talk. It's, I think, a great topic for the show, because I'm completely fascinated and blown away right now that you're spending that kind of money for them kind of returns when you can just take some of that money and play like something easy every day and probably make a lot more. I don't know. It just seems a little crazy to me. But if a company's going to pay you over 12,000 to own their shares like Pfizer, then that even gave me extra. Oh, I gotta read this again. If a company going to pay me over 12,000 to own their shares like Pfizer, that even gave me a extra penny, whatever that means. I have no idea, but yeah, I'm not saying they're not giving you dividends, but I mean, you got a lot of money tied up in that stuff, like 118,000 in Pfizer, 72,000 in ARLP. I just want to know all the different dividends you have right now and how much money you have tied up, because I'm fascinated by that. The fact that you're like, yeah, $72,000 and I'll get $1,800 back in 3 months. I don't know. I mean, I just don't, it just doesn't add up to me, Michael Anthony. But call me crazy. I know I am. But there you go. I just a fascinating conversation right here, I must say. I hope everybody else is enjoying this dividend talk as much as I am, because I'm completely blown away right now and just fascinated by it. But yeah, what call me crazy, but yeah, I just like I said, I have Pepsi. I have a bunch of it. I've owned it over like a long time, so I've had this Pepsi stock forever, and I don't even know what the base price would even be, and and I just know I get a dividend check every couple months, and yeah, it's nothing crazy. Like it's a few bucks, but it's not like I'm making my payments on it. But yeah, you're talking about like buying so much stock that you could literally like live off of it. But then you're talking like you have $118,000 in Pfizer. You could just live off of that instead of like the $2,000 dividend check that they send you. I mean I and then invest the $118,000 in other things rather than wait for a couple months for a dividend check. I have a million questions for you, Michael Anthony. I'm not gonna lie. So please, I can't stress enough. Please reach out to me on X. Send me a message, and I will definitely. I have 10 million questions. I mean, I had a million questions before this dividend talk for you, and now I'm completely blown away. So Pfizer will pay you $4,300 every 3 months on 10,000 shares. But 10,000 shares, it's at like this isn't Pfizer. Hold on. Pfizer isn't that much. Pfizer's like 25. Yeah, 24. 10,000 shares right there, Michael Anthony. It's at $24. So, I mean, I'm just talking about the common person right here. We're talking about like everyday American people and all, and you're saying you pay $4,300, or Pfizer will pay you, and then 10,000 shares right there times obviously 24 is going to be crazy. It's like $250,000. I just wanted to make sure my math was right, and yeah, it's a 240K. I just don't like. I just don't know how many people on here are like, yeah, I'm forking out $240,000 tomorrow on Pfizer shares so that I can get $4,300 every 3 months. Does anybody else find that pretty fascinating, guys? I mean, is that not crazy? Like, pretty wild, I must say. But anyway, it works, and that's what I'm saying, Michael Anthony. It works for you, and that's all you know, and that's all I know too. So I actually I'm fascinated by it. I love that works for you. And like I said, it different trading styles and methods for different people. I don't really know anybody that does. Yeah, look at that REGN. We were just looking at that the other day. Yeah, if you would have taken some of that you had purchased 72K worth of REGN last week. Holy cow. You would definitely be in pretty good shape today. That's for sure. It ran up like $70. And, but again, everybody has a different style. Everybody wants to do different things with their investments. And that's why we cover everything. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, dividend talk with Michael Anthony, because I am completely blown away and fascinated by it. And I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just saying it's a lot of money, like 240K you're talking about, to have tied up there to make $4,300 every 3 months. So I don't know. It sounds pretty crazy. Leap options, yeah. There you go. And everybody's probably sitting here going 140, like $240,000, Michael Anthony. That's crazy talk. And again, I've traded big numbers before, so I'm just talking about, and that's even crazy for me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not putting $240,000 in the Pfizer, guys, so I can make $4,300 every 3 months. That sounds crazy to me. Just like I was talking about the other one with $72,000 to make what, whatever the heck it was. I forget what the heck we were even talking about, but yeah, if that's 72K, and what was the turnaround on it, I totally forget what we were even saying. But again, it wasn't that crazy to me. But hey, it works for other people, and that's why I say there's different styles and methods for everybody. So yeah, thank you. We appreciate it, Michael Anthony. Definitely insight into dividends, and yeah, I would say I know some really wealthy people, and they do kind of buy some of these things like a Pepsi that has like that $1.20 something. So which ones have like the biggest dividends, Michael Anthony? Are you familiar with that? Because I do know some people that do buy some of these, and but they have like crazy amounts of money. Like they have FU cash, and so yeah, they just buy a bunch of it, and then they're like, "Yeah, I got a dividend check, and it was a couple $1,000." So yeah, I do know people that do it, but I guess Michael Anthony's basically got FU money, guys, is what it sounds like to us if he's buying that much Pfizer and everything. So rinse and repeat right there, Luis Rodriguez. I'd agree. Mathematician, and math is the only pure science. Love your digits. And yeah, math is math, according to I would say math is math too. I think that was a great quote right there, Michael Anthony. If I could even find where it is, I'd put it on the board like Jeff Spicoli. And what was that? Fast Time at Richmond High. I love that movie. And what is his name? Mr. Hands or something? No, that's in South Park. What the hell was that guy's name? Was it Mr. Hand? I forget. But anyway, he he has Mr. Jeff Spicoli something, and Jeff Spicoli says, "I don't know" or something. He goes, "I don't know." He writes it on his board, and he's like, "I'm gonna leave that on my board for everybody to enjoy it," or whatever the hell he says. And Jeff Spicoli's like, "Cool." It's just the funniest thing. But math is math, everybody. There you go. So I'll leave you with that because that is a great quote right there, I must say. And yeah, I'm just complete Mr. Hand. Yeah, it was Mr. Hand, right? Luis Rodriguez, something like that. And what a great movie that is. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It was that Sean Penn who played Jess Piccoli. That is one of like the best parts in the movies right there. Old school. And I don't watch many movies. My wife knows. I like have seen like 10 movies in my whole life. I've definitely seen that one. And Grandma's Boy. Not many people know Grandma's Boy, but it's definitely like a low-key stoner movie, and it's hilarious. I think Adam Sandler produced it. It's like all of his buddies. I can't think of the dude's name, Nick Swarson or somebody, something like that. Nick somebody. And he's in it. He's like the main guy. And holy cow, that movie's just hysterical. And yeah, I could watch them movies like over and over, but I don't see any other movie. It's pretty hilarious. My wife always laughs about that. But anyway, just good stuff. And so yeah, that's my movie. That there you go. That's my movie references right there. But yeah, that's what it seemed like to me is like Mr. Hands putting that on the board is I don't know, and math is math. So that is a great one there, I must say. And let's see, your understanding of math is changed when your dad sat down and explained in great detail what calculus really was and what it is trying to answer and why we need it. Yeah, it's calculus was a tough one. And he was an engineer, built airplanes in World War II for Lockheed Martin and built hotels for Hawaii after it became the 50th state. Wow, that's pretty amazing there. Laptop travel, very cool. And you've been hooked on phonics and you mean math ever since. So yeah, I bet I was always a big math person, but obviously I just can't do math in my head anymore. I used to be able to just go right through numbers like a calculator almost. It was no problem at all. I could just blast right through any kind of problem or anything. I'll tell you, that part of my brain stopped working as well. And again, I think it's a lot to do with my photographic memory. I just don't have that anymore. So it's hard for me to do math. And I used to just be able to see the numbers in my head. I don't see anything in my head anymore. So it just doesn't work. And but anyway, like I say, it's all good. I laugh about it, as you can tell. And it is what it is. Like I say, I'm blessed to be alive. I say that every day, and blessed that I still have a skill in the stock market. So I can laugh about not being able to read well, comprehend anything, or even be able to do math. But somehow I figured out them problems with Michael Anthony. I was kind of proud of myself right there. And so yeah, pretty fun stuff. And let's see, Grandma's Boy. Garfilarf said it was one of his favorite movies. Yeah, that's a if you haven't seen it and you want a funny comedy, it's a little older. I guess it was what the early 2000s or whatever. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Adam Sandler produced it, but he's not in it. And it's like all of his buddies, and obviously Adam Sandler puts all of his friends and like all the same cast members for the most part, all of his close people, they all do them movies. But yeah, it's like Nick Swarson or somebody like that. I forget what the hell his name is. He's a comedian, but that is a great movie right there. And there you go. So yeah, some interesting stuff to talk about, even though the market isn't that crazy right now. But that REGN, that could be a little bit of a momentum play tomorrow morning there, Luis Rodriguez. And Mount Han is Antarctica. Don't get the reference, and I'm not sure either. But anyway, but yeah, Mr. Han, I think his name was, is the teacher that said it. And yeah, there's a little Fast Times with Richmond High talk, and also some really fun what are they called? Dividends. That's what they're called. Dividend talk. I had to click that. Did you see that? I had to click on there to see what that said. Dividends. And so yeah, that is what they're called. Dividends. And dividends with Michael Anthony. Maybe we'll have a new segment. It's called Dividends with Michael Anthony, and he can tell us all the different dividends and how much he owns in stock to get to that price. And like I said, $72,000 to get like 1,800. Is that what it was? I forget what we were saying in 3 months. And then the other one. So yeah, it was pretty crazy numbers right there, Michael Anthony. But God bless you. It works for you. And that's all that matters. And like you said, like I was saying, you figured out a method and a style that works for you. And that's all that's important. So I love it. And hit me up, please. Shoot me a message on X so we can definitely set something up. Would love to have you on the show and talk to you in great detail. So ARLP will pay you $6,000 in dividends, but X dividend date can be sold, will work. I don't even know. I just kind of scrolled up and I don't even know what the heck you were talking about there. Hold on. Porkies, I kind of remember that. What was that, Luis Rodriguez? Um, I'm trying to remember what the heck it is, but I forget what the heck that was. Wasn't that a movie or a show? I forget, to be honest with you. But anyway, there you go, everybody. Oh, did we even get through all the ones? It's top of the seventh here. It looks like top of the seventh, no outs. It is still 2-1, and somebody's on first base. So the Blue Jays are at bat, and they got somebody on first base. Did we ever even go through all the ones that were trending? I don't know. Oracle looking good in TSM. No, we definitely didn't. Oracle looked like it was going up in the after hours. TSM right here. So yeah, these semiconductors looking good for tomorrow as well. SMCI. And let's see, BE DraftKings was down. Nokia Lucid. You were just talking about this guy the other day, Luis Rodriguez. Maybe now it's starting to look a little bit better. It does right there. And let's see what else is going on. Let me see. Intel's up a little bit in the UVXY. And yeah, that's I would say that's everything. I can't see anything else that crazy right there. So there you go. Hold on. All kinds of good text messages coming in this evening as well. But yeah, I would say that's a good market review. Also a good little movie review there, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And also Grandma's Boy, and a little mention of Porky's as well. And again, Michael Anthony breaking down dividends for us. So we loved it, Robin. Thank you for tuning in. You check us out in the morning. I know you will be on at 6 a.m. You listen as you get ready for work. And Luis Rodriguez, Laptop Travel, Janica always hanging out there, and everybody else like Michael Anthony, like I said, and Zach hanging out. Appreciate that as usual. And everybody else, if you're just tuning in. Oh, Garfalarf, of course. I knew there was somebody else I had mentioned. I just couldn't find your name. Garfalarf, thanks for hanging out and enjoying Grandma's Boy. It is a great movie right there. So, yeah, anybody new tuning in, greatly appreciate it. We don't always talk about dividends and Grandma's Boy and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but we try to make the show kind of entertaining. We go through the market every night and every morning. So we do this show Sunday night through Thursday night at 8 p.m. And then we also do a pre-market show at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. I try to start around 6:55 just so we can get through everything. It's like a quick half hour. We go through the entire market, see what's going on, what's going to be popping. And then I hop on in the Discord as well, right around 9:15-ish. And I get on there with Ben. We do some live trading, talk about the morning open and all that good stuff for a little while. And then we also do some live trading at the end of the day, around 3 o'clock to end the day and get set up for the next day. And then obviously we do this show. So plenty of content, plenty of good stuff. And obviously, if you ever have any questions, feel free to hit me up on X, shoot me a message. Be sure to follow along on YouTube, X, and Instagram and all that good stuff. And make sure you like the show. I greatly appreciate that. And there you go, everybody. So I would say that's a pretty fun market review, and all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Michael Anthony, please, I can't stress enough, please definitely shoot me a message on X if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I would say that's all we have for this evening. And I'll be keeping an eye on the game as well. I was just going to get over there just to give you a quick update. I think it's at still in the middle. Or they just ended the inning, the top of the seventh. So I'm guessing it's going to the bottom of the seventh, perhaps, or maybe it's going into the top. I don't even know. It's just top of the seventh, no outs. But it looks like it's a commercial break. So not sure what's going on, but it does look like it's still 2-1. And are they having a pitching change? Maybe there's a pitching change. So no outs right there. Toronto runners on second and third with no outs. LA took the pitcher out of the game. Thank you. I should have just read you, Michael Anthony. I'm trying to figure it out right here. And you had already posted it for me. So good looking, Michael Anthony. And so, yeah, it looks like the Blue Jays are trying to score again right there. So we'll see what's going on. We'll all go enjoy the rest of the game. LA has 3 innings, and Toronto leads 2-1 or something. And there you go. So, yeah, we'll be checking out the game, and I'll go watch that. Hopefully it doesn't have 18 innings. I wouldn't mind it going to extra innings. That would be pretty fascinating. But 18 innings was a little bit too much last night. And let's see what our news stories here are. Stocks rise before the big tech earnings, Fed decision, and Nasdaq rallies to record. Microsoft hits 4 trillion market cap right there. U.S. stock futures flat with Fed decision, big tech earnings on deck. That's kind of what I was saying. It is a little bit flat, and stock futures were a little changed as investors await the Fed rate decision and tech it to the limit. One more time. Oh, man, that's a tough one to read. And there you go. The game is in the top of the 7th. Thank you, Michael Anthony, and everybody else tuning in. So, yeah, here's a new pitcher right here. He came in second and third, no outs, and we'll see exactly. Oh, that was a strike. That was a good pitch right there. And so we'll see what goes on, and we'll keep go enjoy this game because the last game was absolutely bonkers. So, yeah. I'm going to go watch the game. I know that. I'll make my night note, those of you in the Discord. And honestly, it's not going to be a real poppin' night note because I just don't think it's anything really that crazy. And I want to see how the market opens up. The pitcher almost threw a wild pitch. I did just see that. It was down in the dirt right there. So, yeah, you guys go enjoy this game. Oh, that pitch right there. Huh. Yeah, that was definitely almost a wild pitch right there, Michael Anthony. Your TV, your cable's a couple seconds faster than mine, I guess. And there you are, everybody. So thank you again, Michael Anthony, and everybody else. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I definitely did. And Michael Anthony, I can't say it 10 more times, but please hit me up on X so we can set up something and you can come on the show. We can talk about dividends and everything else. It'll be a great time. I promise you. You know that. You come on the show like every night and give us some great entertainment. So there you go, everybody. I plan on seeing everybody at 7 a.m. Pal will say market is overbought. Is that what you think? Well, we should bet on that, Michael Anthony, right there. So, yeah, we'll end the show on what Michael Anthony's Pal response is going to be tomorrow. And he said that the market is overbought. So somebody jot that down for tomorrow, and we'll see if that's what Pal actually says, Michael Anthony. I wouldn't doubt it. You know he likes to say crazy things and make the market go spinning down. So we will see what happens. And there's a base hit, so they score another run. I didn't see it. Oh, you're definitely early right there. There could have been. I'm not sure. But there you go, everybody. I'm going to go enjoy the game. You guys go enjoy the game. Doge Mama 9 sitting on the edge of her seat there at her house after being up on the entire night last night after that long game. So there you go. And it is 3-1. So yeah, your TV is definitely a little faster if this is a base hit. Yep, there you go. You're definitely a little faster than me, Michael Anthony. So yeah, 3-1 right there. And there you go. So there you are, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy your evening. And there's no outs. I know this is getting crazy there in the 7th inning, so I definitely want to go check it out. And everybody else, go check it out or enjoy the rest of your evening and be back at 7 a.m. because we'll be all over this market tomorrow morning, especially checking out the rate cut. We know what it's going to be. We've been talking about it forever, and it will be a 0.25 right there. And the government shutdown is not ending anytime soon, apparently. November 23rd, 22nd now, and that thing's still crawling up. So it's definitely after November 16th. And the video is going in the extra innings right now. You said that's pretty funny. Yeah, they do seem to be going into some extra innings, and we'll be keeping an eye on that one as well. So go and eat and watch the game, Michael Anthony. It sounds like a good plan for me, you, and everybody else. So there you go, everybody. Enjoy your evening. I'll see you guys at 7 a.m. So have a great night and enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.